Perseverance, defined by resilience, purpose, and patience in the face of adversity, has been a focal point of human thought for millennia. Stoicism, a school of philosophy founded in ancient Greece and developed in Rome, offers wisdom that remains relevant, particularly on the topic of enduring hardship with strength and grace. Famous Stoic thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, and Musonius Rufus left a legacy of insights on maintaining inner tranquility and moral integrity through life's challenges. This guide delves into 7 core Stoic lessons on perseverance, illustrating how Stoic thought can help us navigate modern challenges while fostering a resilient and virtuous mindset. Lesson 1. Accept your fate. Amor Fati. The concept of Amor Fati, love of fate, encourages embracing every experience, including hardship, as a unique part of one's existence. For Stoics, hardship is an opportunity to demonstrate character, not a punishment. Epictetus, born into slavery, and Marcus Aurelius, an emperor facing wars and personal losses, understood that accepting what life presents without resistance creates freedom and inner peace. Instead of fighting against circumstances, Stoics choose acceptance, shifting from despair to a state of strength. Example exercise for acceptance. Daily reflection. At day's end, write down a challenge you faced. Reflect on how you responded and consider how acceptance might have made it easier. Gratitude practice. Every week, write down something positive that emerged from a difficult experience. Recognizing growth helps internalize the benefits of acceptance. Lesson 2. Don't complain. Choosing endurance over complaints. Marcus Aurelius urged people to recognize that complaining only magnifies suffering. Instead of dwelling on difficulties, he advised directing energy towards enduring with integrity. For Stoics, endurance is a virtue that strengthens our character and resilience. James Stockdale, a U.S. naval officer imprisoned during the Vietnam War, survived his brutal captivity by refusing to give in to bitterness. Rather than complaining, he maintained control over his mind, sustaining his dignity and resilience. Modern application of avoiding complaints. Complaint-free day. Practice one day without verbal or mental complaints. Reframe difficulties with gratitude or acceptance. Positive reframing. When you feel tempted to complain, challenge yourself to list 3 things you are grateful for in that moment. Lesson 3. It's not the end of the world. Perspective in the face of loss. Epictetus taught that nothing is ever truly lost, but rather returned to the universe. This Stoic perspective reminds us that loss is part of life's cycle, reducing our attachment and fear. Stoics argue that when we view life's losses as temporary, we can focus on enduring with integrity. In times of difficulty, this mindset encourages us to live virtuously, knowing that hardship will pass, and that resilience can see us through to the other side. Reflection exercises for perspective on loss. Impermanence. Meditation. Each week, meditate on the transient nature of life. Accept that all things, good or bad, are temporary. Letting go journal. Write down aspects of your life that cause worry. Consider each one's impermanence and imagine it as a lesson rather than a loss. Lesson 4. Don't just wait. Act proactively in hard times. Seneca taught that the biggest waste of life is passivity, allowing ourselves to be controlled by fate instead of actively participating in life. The Stoics believe that while we cannot control events, we can control our responses. Proactivity is essential to perseverance. It's the difference between surviving and thriving. Stoicism encourages us to take small, actionable steps towards improvement, no matter how daunting the challenge. Action plan for proactivity. Immediate action step. Identify one aspect of a current challenge within your control. Take a small action toward resolving it, whether it's a conversation, research, or creating a plan. Daily goals. Set 3 achievable goals each day, focusing on areas you can control. Lesson 5. Demand better for yourself. Strive for virtue over complacency. Epictetus reminds us that perseverance means striving to live up to our best selves. Stoics reject complacency, advocating for constant self-improvement and moral growth. When we face hardship, it can be tempting to settle or give up on our ideals. Instead, Stoicism encourages us to demand better, pushing ourselves to uphold our principles and values even when it's difficult. This lesson emphasizes that perseverance is an active choice to cultivate character. Exercises for personal standards. Virtue assessment. Reflect on how your recent actions align with your values. Set a personal goal to practice one Stoic virtue, e.g., wisdom, courage, more consistently. Habit tracker. Develop a habit tracker to monitor daily actions that support your goals and personal growth. Lesson 6. Stop torturing yourself. Managing self-judgment and internal dialogue. Epictetus taught that we suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them. Stoicism emphasizes that we often create suffering through negative self-judgment. By reframing how we see ourselves and our circumstances, we can reduce this self-inflicted suffering. For Stoics, rational assessment of events is key, helping us avoid unproductive self-blame and focus on constructive improvement. Practice for reducing self-criticism. Cognitive reframing. Each time a negative thought arises, challenge yourself to reframe it constructively. Replace "I failed" with "I didn't meet this goal. What can I learn from it?" Self-compassion meditation. Spend 5 to 10 minutes daily meditating on self-compassion, forgiving yourself for perceived shortcomings and committing to constructive change. Lesson 7. Use your resources. Employing inner strength and rationality. Stoicism teaches that we possess more resources within us than we realize. The Stoics encourage rational thinking and inner strength, especially in times of crisis. Epictetus reminds us that we have an array of inner tools like patience, courage, and wisdom to handle adversity. By looking within, we can find untapped strengths and maintain a resilient mindset even when external events seem overwhelming. Exercises for inner resourcefulness. Strength inventory. List your strengths, both known and hidden. Reflect on a past situation where you demonstrated resilience and identify which strengths helped you. Rational response practice. Each day, practice responding to minor frustrations with logic instead of emotion. Train yourself to pause, reflect, and choose a rational response. 10 Stoic quotes on perseverance. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality. In the meantime, cling tooth and nail to the following rule: not to give in to adversity, not to trust prosperity, and always take full note of fortune's habit of behaving just as she pleases. Whatever you have been expecting for some time comes as less of a shock. I judge you unfortunate because you have never lived through misfortune. You have passed through life without an opponent. No one can ever know what you are capable of, not even you. People are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them. To bear trials with a calm mind robs misfortune of its strength and burden. To make the best of what is in our power and take the rest as it occurs. Ask, why is this so unbearable? Why can't I endure it? You'll be embarrassed to answer. You must build up your life action by action. And be content if each one achieves its goal as far as possible. You don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you. To live a good life, we have the potential for it. If we learn to be indifferent to what makes no difference. As you reflect on these Stoic lessons of perseverance, remember that resilience is a skill you can cultivate each day. Whether you're facing small frustrations or significant hardships, the Stoic mindset encourages you to respond with strength, acceptance, and purpose. Embrace each challenge as an opportunity to grow, and let these Stoic principles guide you toward a more resilient and fulfilling life. Take this journey of perseverance with intention, knowing that, like the Stoics, you have the inner resources to endure, grow, and thrive.